Jiyo ek oankar satnam karta purkh nirbhau nirvair akal murਤ ajuni sapang gur prasad jap आद सच जगाद सच है सच नानक होसी पी सच तू ही है मात पिता गुरु तू ही है पोखनहार गोसैया तेरो ही मान अरतान है तेरो ही आस भरोसा कहैया निमाने को मान निताने को तान निथावे को थाव तू ही सब गैया पाव परो परमेश्वर तो है क्या बारंबार तुझा बल जैया पाव परो परमेश्वर तो है क्या बारंबार तुझा बल जैया मूक उच्चरा शास्त्र खाट पिंग गिरन चढ़ जाए अंध लखा बदरो सुना जो काल कृपा कराए अंध लखा बदरो सुना जो काल कृपा कराए वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह. So Sankaji, today I'll be speaking in English for the ease of understanding. And as we all know, we'll be going through Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj's Bani, Salok Mahalla Nava. And at the beginning of the month, we had Bhai Amandeep Singh, who started off this Ladi of Katha. So the reason we call it a Ladi is because it's continuous. It's going to be happening every week. And they started off by telling us the whole Uttanika background of this Bani, why it was written and who it was written by. So they shared all the Sakhya. So today we won't focus much on Guru Sahib's Jeevani, on their life and what they were facing at that time, but more so the Bani itself and the meaning. We'll do a translation of the Bani itself, and today we'll do the first Salok. So for those of you who saw the poster, we had two questions on there. The first one being, what's the essence of Sikhi? And the second one being, how far away is God? And we're going to use this Bani, the first Salok of this Bani, to answer those questions. So we'll just give a rough background of the Bani itself. Salok Mahalla Nava. It's by Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj, our 9th Guru. And it was the last Bani that they left us with. So before they gave Shahidi, this was the last Bani that they wrote for us. And as Bhai Sahib explained last time, that it was written for 4 different purposes. The first, it was written for the Gursikhs. So it was a message, Maharaj's final message to his Gursikhs. The second, it was for their mother, Mata Nanaki Ji, the Mahal of Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji Maharaj. Third, it was for their wife, Mata Gujar Kaur Ji. And fourth, it was for their son, Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj. So that's just to reflect back on Maharaj's family as well, and how they sent these messages for them, but also for us. Because as we sit here today, this year is going to be 350 years since Maharaj's Shahidi Purb. So since they gave their cease, it's going to be 350 years. So we're going to try and spend the whole year commemorating their Shahidi, remembering what they did and reflecting on what they blessed us with, including this Bani. We'll start with the first question. What is the essence of Sikhi? And the beautiful thing is the answer is right at the beginning. So as the Bani starts, the very first Pankti, Ek Oankar Sat Gur Prasad, it answers the very first question right there. But we'll go into how. So if we break it down, we have Ek, which is 1. It's a numerical. When something is a number, it means it can't be mistranslated. So as I sit here today, I speak in English, and somebody else could speak in German, in French, or any other language, and there will be mistakes in translations. We will make mistakes when translating Good Bani because it's a whole different language. But when you have a numerical, when you have a number, regardless of what language you speak, the number can never change. In this case, Ek being the number 1, will be the number one in any language that anybody speaks. That one is that Brahm Sarup. Brahm is another name for Akal Purakh WhyGuru. And that Brahm resides within everything and everyone. That's Ek. Oankar is split up into two. You have Oang, which is the sound, and you have Akar. When you put it together, it becomes Oankar. Oang, I said, is the sound, but it's the sound with which everything that we know was created. All of existence, all of the Charasti Lakjun, everything that we can see, plants and animals and humans and all these different species, it was all created with this one sound, Oang. That's why it follows with Akar, because Akar means creation. So everything in existence. So when we say Ek Oankar, what we're saying is that there is only one, that Brahm Sarup, and that Brahm Sarup created everything in existence, which means it resides within all of that existence and without as well, referring to who we might call God. But not to be confused and think God is a man who sits in the sky and grants our wishes, because that's not what Maharaj is saying. Maharaj is saying God is that Ek. Ek meaning that Brahm Sarup, that Chetan Sarup, which resides within everything. Chetan itself means alive. So everything that's living has that one Brahm Sarup within it in order to be alive. As I said earlier, including plants and animals as well. So this might make us question, is God separate? Because if they created it, how do we know that they're within the creation as well? Firstly, Maharaj tells us multiple times in Gurbani, even if we just look at the Pankti that we used last time as well, कि मन तू ज्योत स्वरूप है, अपना मूल पहचान. Maharaj is telling us, speak to your own mind, speak to yourself. Tell your mind who you truly are, that you are this Jyot Sarup, this Brahm Sarup, this Chetan Sarup. Tell your mind to pachan. Pachan means to recognize. Guru Sahib is so dayal, they're being so merciful on us that they're telling us you just have to recognize it. You don't have to go and discover it, you don't have to find it all by yourself. You just have to recognize something you've always known. Man tu jyot sarup hai, apna mool pachan. There Guru Sahib is telling us that we just have to recognize who we truly are, that one Brahm Sarup. But to go ahead, Maharaj in Gurbani also says, Jogi andar jogiya, vich pogi andar pogiya. They tell us that amongst all these yogis, these yogis that would say today, Jogi andar jogiya, that the biggest of them all is that one, that God themselves, that Brahm Sarup. Why? Because it's that Brahm Sarup that exists within everything. Vich pogi andar pogiya. That even a pogi is someone who seeks pleasures. So if we've eaten a big meal, that was us doing pog of that meal. The same way they say that Brahm Sarup is also within those who seek pleasure, because that one is within everybody. So then who are we to judge and say that you're a yogi and you're a pogi? We're not allowed to do that. We can't say you're bad and you're good, because Guru Sahib is saying that's duality. That's saying there is a bad and a good, there is a you and a me. But in reality, they've started the whole Bani with Ek. It's the very first numerical that comes at the beginning of Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. And every Bani that we read, it will start with Ek. The first Pankti will always be Ek Oankar. If it's from Aad Darbar, so Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj will be Ek Oankar, Sat Gur Prasad. If it's from Dasam Darbar, Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj's Bani, including Chaupai Sahib, Jap Sahib, it will say Ek Oankar, Sri WhyGuru Ji Ki Fateh. Regardless, it always starts with Ek Oankar, meaning that that one is within everything. And Maharaj repeats it in every Bani so that it can become reality for us, so that it's not just a message. They tell it to us so many times with that hope that if we keep reading it multiple times a day, look at in the morning when we do our Panj Bani and the Nitnem, we're reading it 5 times already. Rara Sahib, it's the 6th time of the day. Sohella Sahib, 7 times in a day, we've read that one message, that there is only one. So Guru Sahib then says eventually with their kirpa, we will then begin to understand that. We'll then grasp that message. So Ik Oankar, just to reiterate, is that there is only one and it resides within everything and everyone. The reason I said it was very intentional because it's just an energy. It doesn't have a shape, a form, a gender. It's just an energy. And that's why it can be present in everything and everyone. But as I said, Guru Sahib repeats this to us to bless us with the knowledge so that we understand this on the form of knowledge. But the reason that they do it so many times is that so we can move from knowledge to actually experiencing it. So there's two types of gyan. There's proksh gyan, which is when Maharaj gives us the knowledge but no experience. So how Guru Sahib repeatedly tells us means that they're making us aware that there is only one, and that one is within me and you and everything we can see. But then there comes a point when Maharaj does kirpa and they open us to aproksh gyan. Sometimes we call it anubhav. This means to actually experience what Guru Sahib is teaching us. So everything that Guru Sahib is telling us in their Gurbani, we have the potential to experience it instead of just knowing it as knowledge. As humans, this human body that we've been given, we're the only ones in the whole of this Churasi Lakh June, this 8.4 million life forms, that can physically experience that one, physically experience God. Sikhi is not about blind faith because we're not believing in anything. We're experiencing that one. And that's the purpose of Sikhi. So when we ask the question, what's the essence of Sikhi? Ik Oankar. But there's more to it. There's Sat Gur Prasad. So then we might ask the question that how do we move from the knowledge to the experience itself? Because that's what we're trying to achieve. Now we have the knowledge because Maharaj has told us, but now we would actually like to experience it. And then we ask that question of how do we do that? And that takes us to the second half of the Pankti, Sat Gur Prasad. We'll break it down. We have Sat and Gur is one word, but we split it into two. Sat meaning true. And here I'll point out that true is different from truth, because something can be true, but not always true. That sounds really confusing, so I'll put it into perspective. If we have something like the time, if it's morning, you'll tell somebody it's morning, and that's the truth because it is morning. But when it's evening, you can't say it's still morning because it's evening. But that doesn't mean that in the morning that wasn't the truth, or saying it's not morning is not the truth in the evening. They were still true, just at different times. Something that's always true is Satya. To be always true means it has to be the truth in the past, in the present, and in the future. Within the Mool Mantra we just did, it said Aad Satya, Jugad Satya, Happy Satya, Nanak Hosi Pi Satya. Meaning that Aad is before time even existed, before creation was even created. There was a truth that existed then. That same truth, Jugad Sat, existed when time was created, when the world was created, when there was a sky, a moon, a sun. Maharaj talks about all of this in Gurbani, and they say even then there was something that was still true. Happy Satya, it still is true. Till today, this very moment right now, it's still true. Nanak Hosi Pi Satya. It will always be true. Even if this creation ceases to exist, which it does for us when we leave our body, because we're no longer here to see it, even then, there's something that's true. I then pose the question back. What is it that's always true? Is that Ek, that one, that energy is always true. Before we take form, before everything was created, it was true. It was the only thing that was existing. When we took form, when we got blessed with this human body, it's the one keeping us alive, which means it's the truth. Once we leave this body, it will still be true, because something leaves the body when we pass away. That's why we say Sat Gur is the true Guru. But then we might have that question of how do we know that our Guru, Guru Sahib is the true Guru. Because why not? Why not have that question? If we know it has to be true in all of time, then why don't we have that question of how do we know that our Guru is the truth? Satya Guru. And then we reflect back to Gurbani, which explains to us that Guru Sahib is the same as that Ek. They are one. They're not two separate entities. You don't have that Ek and Guru Sahib. They are just one. Hence they were able to take 10 different forms and today be present before us in the form of Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, but it's that same light that was in Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, up until Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj, and right before us in the form of Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj is just one light, the light of Akal Purakh WhyGuru. When we read Gurbani and we hear the Pankti Jot Roop Har Aap Guru Nanak Kahayo, what the Pankti is saying is that Jot Roop. Jot Roop meaning that light of God, of the One. And we say Maharaj is that light, but what do we call them? Guru Nanak Kahayo. That we've then given them the name Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj. From there the Shabad goes on to explain how that light travelled through all the different forms. Not for us to think that they were separate, that they were different. They were all one. And today they still are in the form of Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. When we reflect on Gurbani, we hear the Pankti, Nirgun Aap Sargun Pi Ohi. That one is the formless and the one with the form as well. Formless being the one that we can't see or hear or feel. We can't access that one with our senses. For example, with Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, we can experience them with our senses. We can see them when we come and do Matha Tek. When we read Gurbani, we're getting their darshan with our eyes. We can hear them when Gurbani is being spoken or sung. We're listening to them with our ears. But when you think of Akal Purakh WhyGuru, they're not accessible with our senses. We can't touch them, we can't hear them, we can't feel them, we can't even see them. And that's the formless. But Guru Sahib is saying that one, Nirgun Aap, the one without form, Sargun Pi Ohi, that it's just that one who doesn't have a form but still has a form at the same time. And that is why our Guru is true, why they are the true Guru, because they are one with Akal Purakh WhyGuru. They are the form and the formless at the same time. And on this note, Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj had a conversation with Bhai Nandalal Ji, one of their Sikhs, and Bhai Nandalal Ji actually wrote it down in their Ratname. They wrote down this conversation with Guru Sahib, asking that when you leave your physical body, when you're no longer in the form of Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj, how will I see you? How will I come and do namaskar to you? How will I still have that love for you? And Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj replies saying, Teen roop hai mohe ke, sunho nand chit laye. They're saying, I have 3 forms. Listen to me, Bhai Nandalal Ji. Chit la ke. Listen to me with your concentration, with that love that you have for me in form as well. Sunho nand chit laye. Nirgun sargun gur shabad. Kaho to he samjhaye. This is Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj telling Bhai Nandalal Ji the 3 forms. Nirgun, the one without a form. Sargun, the one with a form. And Gur Shabad, which is Gurbani. Nirgun, the formless, Akal Purakh WhyGuru. Sargun, in that time, Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj. And Gur Shabad, Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, Gurbani. So here Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj is saying that they themselves have these 3 forms, which means that they are Akal Purakh WhyGuru, they are Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj in physical form, and they are Gurbani as well. Because how do we now speak to Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj, or any of the Gurus? Through Gurbani. We come and take a hukam Sahib, and the response is from our Guru, which means it's another form of our Guru. And that's how we know that our Guru is the true Guru, the Sat Guru. There's another Pankti that says, Nirankar Akar Jot Jagmandal Karyo. Nirankar Akar, the formless, took a form and came into this world. And that's on the same note of saying that Guru Sahib is formless as well as with form. Sat Guru Prasad. Prasad is another word for kirpa. Kirpa meaning blessings. So the initial question was, how do we move from knowledge to experience? How do we move from just knowing something, knowing that God exists, to actually experiencing the existence of that God? Knowing that that ek, that one, resides within everybody and without of them as well, but to actually experiencing that yes, the light of God resides within me and within you. To be able to see God in yourself, in everything and everyone around you. How do we move from knowledge to experience? Sat Guru Prasad. Through the kirpa, through the blessings of that true Guru, is how we move to experience, is how we feel all of these things. It's because of that grace. But then we might ask, how do we get that grace? What can we do to make our Guru happy so that they'll bless us with this experience? One thing we have to understand is that Maharaj is already very happy with us because they've blessed us with the first step, with the knowledge. There's so many people out there who don't have this knowledge. Maybe many of us have even learnt it today. And that's to understand that Guru Sahib is already very happy with us. The fact that we've come to the Darbar today, we've done Matha Tek and we've sat down to learn something. Maharaj said, Ape Sangat Sad Bahalla, Ape Vida Karava. That Guru Sahib Aap, themselves, they bring us into their Sangat. Ape Sangat Sad Bahalla. They call us into their Sangat. Why do they call us into their Sangat? We can leave with something, so that we can take something away. We can learn something. Because then they say, Ape Vida Karava, that they themselves then let us leave when we're ready to leave. Because they know that they'll call us again. So that's the first thing to recognize, that we are already very blessed because Guru Sahib has given us this knowledge. So we're already on step 1. And to take it to step 2, we just have to get more blessings from Guru Sahib. We just have to make them even happier. But we might ask how. So there's a Pankti in Gurbani which describes this perfectly. Kripa karha ta satgur melaha, har har naam te aayi. It starts with Kripa Karha Ta Satgur Melaha. That when that Akal Purakh WhyGuru does Kirpa on us, when they bless us, then we meet with the true Guru. So think about it, for people like me who are coming into Sikhi, before we came into Sikhi, we didn't have a Guru. I can say that for myself because growing up, I wasn't in Sikhi, I wasn't Amritari, and at that point it felt like I didn't have a Guru. I didn't have somebody to teach me and tell me what to do. So Kirpa Kara Ta Satgur Melaha. When Akal Purakh WhyGuru did Kirpa upon myself and a lot of us here, that's when we were blessed to meet with the true Guru. That's step 1. After that it says, Har Har Naam Te Aayi. What was the result of meeting with that true Guru? It's only that true Guru who will then attach us to Gur Shabad. When you take Amrit, at the Amrit Sanchar, the Panch Pyare in the form of that one give you Gur Mantar. They tell you that your Gur Mantar will be WhyGuru, which means that Guru Sahib is giving you a mantar. They're giving you a way to experience them. They're telling you that this is what you have to recite and this is the result. Which means that without the true Guru, we won't have that direction. We won't have that instruction. Let's say we don't even come to the Guru God. How will we learn? How will we learn these things? How will we get the Gur Mantar, Mool Mantar? How will we know what part to do? Where to find the Bani? How to read the Bani? We've got to have someone to teach us Santha, how to pronounce the Bani. We've got to have that exposure that these Panch Baniya exist, these 5 Baniya exist, and we should be reading them in the morning. We should be doing a Japti Sahib da part. We need a Guru in order to tell us all of this. And that's the first step. But that only happens with the Kirpa of Akal Purakh WhyGuru. Because remember, they are just one. Meeting the Guru, we then jap naam. We then get exposed to Sikhi, as we call it now. And through that exposure, through japping that naam, reading that Bani, doing Kirtan, doing Seva, coming into Sadhu Sangat, that's how we then get the Kirpa of Akal Purakh WhyGuru. So when Akal Purakh WhyGuru is pleased with us, we then get a Guru. They take us to a Guru. When Guru Sahib is happy with us, because of putting in that effort, jumping that naam, they take us back to Akal Purakh WhyGuru. Can we see how it's a circle? How we need one to take us to the other, but we can't get to that one without the other. We need both, even though they are the same. Confusing, but it just comes back to that there is only one. We only have to work to please the one, because the one will show us what else there is. That's not for us to worry about. We just have to think of how to please our Guru, how to get this Kirpa in the first place. Maharaj in their Bani also say, Gur Satgur ka jo Sikh akhaye, so palke ot harinamate aava. That if we call ourselves Sikhs of the Guru, Satgur ka jo Sikh akhaye. Akhaye is to call yourself a Sikh of the Guru. They say then you'll rise in the morning, so palke ot harinamate aave. We'll rise in the morning and we'll reflect upon that one name. It's not just a name, it's not just a mantra, it's the bridge between us and the experience. It's that name, that mantra, that's actually going to make us experience that one. The best bit is the second part, the second pankti in the same Shabad, because Maharaj says, Uddam kare palike parbati. I'm going to focus on Uddam. Maharaj is saying, as Guru Tegh Sikh, all we have to do is Uddam. Uddam means effort. All we have to do is put in that effort. We can't guarantee that we're going to wake up for Amrit Vela. We can't guarantee that we're going to read Gurbani or we're going to jap Naam. You can't guarantee to me right now I'm going to sit down and jap Naam for 5 minutes. God knows what could happen. You might get a phone call, your legs might start hurting, might get a headache, might even pass out. Anything can happen. So we can't give that guarantee. That's why we stand before Maharaj and we do our das. We say, Maharaj, Amrit Vela di daata baksho. Bless me so that I'm able to wake up at Amrit Vela. Because I can't give you that guarantee. I can't say, Likh ke la lo. I can't write it down and say, I am going to wake up for Amrit Vela tomorrow. It's only with Maharaj's Kirpa. It's only when we surrender and say, you are the only one who can make it happen, is when it really happens. Because nothing is in our control. We don't have that kind of power. Maharaj is saying all we have to do is uddam, effort. It's those baby steps that pleases our Guru. Maharaj says, Charana saran gur ek panda jai chal, sat gur kot panda aage hoi let hai. Charana saran, towards our Guru, Charan saran gur ek panda jai chal. We just have to take one step, ek panda, any form of baby step. The baby step could be doing the ardas, that Maharaj, please wake me up. The next step could be actually waking up. But they say that we just have to take that one step, and they in return, Satguru Kota Panda, Aage Hoi Leta Hai. They bring themselves to us. We just have to reach out, give Maharaj your finger, not even your whole hand, and they'll come and grab you. And that's exactly what Guru Sahib is saying here. In order to please them, in order to get their kirpa, all we have to do is Uddam. Uddam kare palike parbati. Uddam is the main thing. We just have to put in that effort. And as I said, that effort could be in any shape or form. It could be anything at all. And it all starts with an ardas. Even doing that ardas requires that effort, that uddam, to actually speak to your Guru. Whether you want to do it formally or informally. Formally meaning standing in front of Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj and doing the formal ardas we've been given in the Gutka Sahib. Or informally, just speaking from your heart. Sat down wherever you are, eyes open, eyes closed, any language you wish to speak, but actually reaching out to your Guru. Actually saying, I know you reside within me, you're sat inside me, which means you can hear me, and now I need to speak to you. I need your help. I need you to help me so that I can wake up in the morning, so that I can just remember you, so I can be grateful. That's all Maharaj is asking us to do. They're saying all we have to do is put in some sort of effort, take some sort of step towards them, and they'll handle the rest. The minute we show that interest, the minute we put in that effort, Akal Purakh WhyGuru does that kirpa on us and takes us to our Guru. Our Guru then blesses us with the instructions of what to do next. They tell us you wake up at Amrit Vela, you read your Pandbaniya. They tell us what to do. As we follow what they tell us to do, Guru Sahib then does kirpa on us, they bless us, so that we can then meet Akal Purakh WhyGuru, which means to experience that one without a form. So I hope we understand the cycle. Another thing is to sit with intention. When we're going to jap naam, when we're going to do our bhakti, read our Gurbani, let's sit with an intention, not just because we want to get it done. Let's say we do Japji Sahib every day. Let's not just do it to tick that box and say, I did it today. Let's do it because we want to take something away from it. When we sit down and recite the WhyGuru mantra, let's not just do it because Maharaj has said it's good to jap naam. Yeah, it's good to jap naam, we know that. But what's more than that? Maharaj gives us the mantra. That mantra is for a very specific reason. When we break it up, it's made of 4 letters. Va, He, Gu, Ru. Va means wow, amazing. He means here, right now. Gu means darkness. And Ru means light. So what we're truly saying is that Va Guru Sahib, you're so amazing because you're here with me right now. How do I access you? How do I speak to you? How do I reach you? I just have to remember you because you're always there. And what do you do when I remember you? When you make me understand that you're always with me, hey, you are with me, what do you then do? You take me from that gu, from that darkness of agyanta meaning ignorance. The ignorance of understanding that we are just one, that the only darkness we truly have is that we think we're separated from Akal Purakh WhyGuru. We think we're all different. We think there's a me and there's a you. And that Ru, they take us into the light of Gyan, of knowledge. But knowledge of what? Of that Brahm, that one. That Ru, that light is of Brahm Gyan. Understanding that there is only one. Ek Oankar. There's only one inside of all of us and outside as well. Inside plants and animals and rocks and pebbles as well. Things that we wouldn't think have that one light, even they do. And that's what we're saying when we just say the WhyGuru mantra. So when we're going to jap naam, when we're going to say that mantra, let's tell our mind that I'm sitting down with this intention to actually experience that one. When I say, hey, I really want to feel like you are here. So you're doing that ardas, that Maharaj, I'm going to sit down with your blessings to remember you, and I want you to help me feel like you really are with me. I want to understand and experience that there is only one. And then you're sitting with that uddam. You've put in that effort to sit down. You've done that ardas. And you want to sit with that intention that today I'm going to experience you. Today I'm going to say WhyGuru as many times as I have to, but I am going to feel you. Sit with that almost authority, but that assertion where you're being assertive about it. You're saying 100% today's the day. And we'll do this every single day until Guru Sahib finally says, you know what, you deserve it. And they'll give us that gift. They'll give us that experience. The same thing of when we read our Baniya, when we read Japji Sahib, when we read Jap Sahib. So with Jap Sahib, it's really beautiful because it's a Bani that's doing the ustati of Akal. It's praising Akal Purakh WhyGuru. That's what Jap Sahib is. It's to sing the praises of that one. So when we're doing it, it's really, really easy to just rush through it because it's so, like, each pankti is so short. It's probably just 2 words in most of the panktiya. It's so easy to rush through it. But if we actually just slow it down and just be present and read the Bani in a way to understand or to feel. So sometimes we have this question that I read good Bani but I don't understand it. Does it make a difference? Does it help? It's not about understanding, it's about experiencing. We can't understand everything because Maharaj is Bayant. We can only try. We can do all the khoj, all the research, we can read, and we can really try to understand, but we'll never get there. Because there is no end. The minute you feel you've hacked it, you know what Ik Oankar means. Give it a bit more of research, give it a bit more of putting your head down, it will change. Maharaj will give you another meaning. So when it comes to reading Gurbani, we want to read it in a way that we can experience it. As I said, when it comes to Jap Sahib, we're doing that ustati of Akal. We're praising Akal Purakh WhyGuru. The one without form, we're praising them. And in this specific Bani Jap Sahib, there's a whole chant that is doing namaskar. You're sitting there and you're doing namaskar to the formless. You're saying namastuang. And doing it slowly is you actually doing that namaskar. It's so easy to just go namastang rupe, namastang rupe, namastang pekhe, namastang rekhe. It's so easy because it will just flow off your tongue. But if you actually slow it down and you actually sit down and say, okay, I'm going to speak to you now, the one without form, through my Guru who's given me this Bani, and I'll sit down and say, namastang arupe, namastang anupe. You don't have to understand it. You just have to experience it. You just have to experience yourself bowing down in front of that formless and saying, I salute you, namastang. Not understanding what it means is okay. It's the intention with which we do it. It could take 10 minutes and then take it right off just take it and say, yep, okay, done, I did my Nitnem. Or you could sit for say 15, 20, half an hour even, and do half the Bani, but do it with an intention. An intention to actually salute the formless. Because only as we get closer to them is how we'll experience them. It's only with that intention is how we'll actually experience them. And there's so many Baniya that can connect us in so many different ways. We've got Akal Ustat, which in the name itself explains to us what the Bani is doing. Ustati of Akal, the same as Jap Sahib. It's praising the one without a form. And in there Maharaj says, Jale Hari, Thale Hari. They're telling us that this Hari is another name for Akal Purakh WhyGuru, resides everywhere. Jale in the Jal, in the water. Thale in the Thal, in the ground. So when we look at the floor, you either have land or you have water. There's no third option. But Maharaj is saying, Jale Hari, Thale Hari. Okay, you're in the water and you're also in the land. So where are you not? And the more we read these Baniya with an intention, hopefully as we continue reading them consciously by being present, one day Maharaj will actually show us that yes, you are in the water, you are in the land, you are in me, in you, and everyone and everything that we can see. Because from the beginning of this Bani, we've now understood that that's what we're trying to do. What's the essence of Sikhi? Understanding that one, experiencing that one within ourselves first. Instead of trying to see that one in everything, plants, animals, people, let's try and see that one within ourselves. Let's try and experience the one within ourselves. We might say, are we worthy? Are we good enough? Maharaj is not the one questioning you. Maharaj is telling you. They're saying that one is inside you. Whether or not you feel worthy, whether or not you feel good enough, whether or not you even want to accept it, it's just the truth that that one is there. So instead of putting yourself down and asking these questions, why not put that effort to then experience that one, to feel that one, and to be grateful that you know that one is there all the time. So there's a Sakhi from Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj, where Guru Sahib Aap themselves, they tell us that this is the essence of Sikhi. So here Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj was in Anandpur Sahib and they were leaving. So they were going to mount their horse, they were going to climb on their horse, and they turned to their Gursikhs, they turned to all the things that are over there, and they say, in the time it takes me to climb this horse, to sit on the horse, I want you to explain to me the meaning of all of Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj's Bani. All the Bani present in Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, tell me the meaning of all of it. And the Singhs were like, Maharaj, that's not possible. It's going to take you like a minute to jump on your horse. It's not going to take us a minute to know what Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj is saying. There's so much Bani, it's so dungi, it's so amazing. How are we going to do this? And one Singh turns to Maharaj and says, if you bless me, if you put your hand on my head, you do that kirpa, I'll give you the answer. the first thing is that surrendering, not thinking we know it all. Even though we do our research, even though we read our Bani, we might know something, we need to humble ourselves, we need to surrender and say, Maharaj, I only know it because of you. If you bless me, it's possible. But if I turn away from you and say I know everything, it's not possible. That's why I started with the Mangal, Moog Uchara, Sastra Khate, Pinga Girana Char Jai. Andalakha Badaro Suna, Jo Kal Kripa Karai. That everything is only possible, Jo Kal Kripa Karai. If that Akal Purakh WhyGuru does their Kripa, then anything is possible. Things that seem impossible become possible because of their Kripa. So this one Singh turned to Guru Sahib and said, Tusi aap Kripa karo, and I'll tell you the meaning of all of Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj's Bani in the time that it takes you to mount your horse, to sit on your horse. And the Singh goes, Ik Oankar Sat Gur Prasad. And Guru Sahib sat on their horse and they blessed them. They said, well done, perfect. That's exactly what it is. But all the other Singhs were like, Maharaj, he's only just started. That's only the beginning of the Bani. It's not the end. He hasn't gone into anything. He's only told you the first Pankti. And Maharaj said that is where the answer is. That is the essence of Sikhi. Maharaj said that is everything. All we need to understand is Ek Oankar. And how will we understand it? Sat Gur Prasad. So Maharaj was so pleased because they were like, this thing has understood. In order to know anything, he needs the Kirpa of his Guru. That's why he started with, if you bless me, it's possible. And then Maharaj go on to say that every Bani present in Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj is like a tika meaning a steek, an explanation. They're saying that all the Bani present in Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj is an explanation of this one Pankti. Ik Oankar Sat Gur Prasad. That everything else after that has been blessed to us to explain to us the meaning of that Ik Oankar Sat Gur Prasad. And if we reflect on more Baniya present within Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, like here we have Dakhni Oankar, it speaks about the Oankar itself. But again, that Oankar is a part of the very beginning, Ik Oankar. In the Bani it says, Oankar Brahma Utpat. It's saying that even Brahma was created through this sound, Oang. Because that one created everything with this sound, even Brahma Ji was part of it. Shiv Ji, Vishnu, everything, everyone was created through this one sound. So we've understood that the essence is Ik Oankar Sat Gur Prasad. And Maharaj said all the other Bani is to explain this one Pankti. And then Maharaj gives us this example in Dakhni Oankar, how they go on about how everything was created with this Oankar. And the first Pankti being Oankar Brahma Uttapat, where they speak about Brahmas, they speak about Devi Devte, they speak about things beyond our reach, beyond our understanding. And they say even they were created by that one, with that one sound. And this was just an example to show how there's so many Baniya present in Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, but all of them will be explaining this one Pankti. Because the Tattva, the essence of Sikhi, is in that one. The day we finally give up our ego and say, yes, Maharaj, there is only one, that's the day we'll realize that nothing else exists. Everything is just an illusion. And Maharaj was constantly remind us that everything is a dream, it's an illusion through this specific Bani, Salok Nava. Countless times they'll tell us it's all fake. It's just an illusion, it's not real. But we will only understand that the day we surrender to Guru Sahib and we say truly there is only one. There is no me and you, we are just one. Why? Because we all have the same amount of that Ik within us. Not to say that if I'm Amritari and I'm sitting here doing the Katha, I have more. That's not true. Maharaj just said everything and everyone has the exact same amount. That Ik is evenly spread amongst all of creation. All of creation means 84 lakh joon. Plants animals, people, rocks, pebbles, everything in existence all has the exact same amount of the one energy within. That ek is the same. We just have to put ourselves in front of our Guru, stop feeling better than everything and everyone, and say, understand, let me experience this. Because that's the essence of Sikhi. Even Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj said that to us. The next pankti in the Bani is Salok M9. So here we bring in the importance of Sandhya, the importance of learning how to pronounce good Bani, because often we'll hear Salok M9. We don't say that. When you do Sandhya, your Ustad will teach you that you say Salok M9. Not to say it changes the meaning, but if Guru Sahib wants it to be pronounced that way, we must respect it. If Maharaj has said it's to be pronounced in this specific way, who are we to question it? It's easier and quicker to say it the other way, because it's always quicker and easier to make mistakes. But if Guru Sahib has said you have to put in that effort, that uddam, to learn good Bani, then they also teach us. And these are the fal. This is the beauty of it. That then we pronounce it the way they want us to, and not the way we want to instead. So the beginning of the Bani, Salok M9, saying that this Bani is written in Saloks. So we have Dohre, we have Jaupe, we have all these different styles of writing, but this Bani is in a Salok. So today we'll be covering one Salok, which is the two Panktiya. Mahalla, meaning the form, Nava, the ninth form. So our ninth Guru, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj, is blessing us with this Bani, and hence it's called Salok M9. The very first Pankti, Guna Gobind Gayo Nahi, Janam Akar Thakeen. So we will split this Pankti up, we'll break it down as we try to understand it. We'll start with the first place that the Vishram can be put. So a Vishram is a pause. The first pause, Guna Gobind Gayo Nahi. Then we put the pause there. So when we come for a Partha Pog, if there's a Akhand Path Sahib and there's the Pog, they'll always recite this Bani. It comes at every Pog. And in there they'll sing it in a specific tune where it will fall at every Vishram. So they'll say Guna Gobind Gayo Nahi, and then it will kind of stop there. And when we put the pause there, it's to understand the meaning better. Guna is the virtues or the praises of Akal Purakh WhyGuru. Gobind is the protector of the world. Gobind. So the protector of the world. Gayo Nahi, that we're not singing the praises of that one. And Maharaj is not telling us like it's optional. They're not saying that some get to say I have and some get to say I haven't. Maharaj is saying understand it, that nobody has sung the praises of the one. That even if we think we are, we haven't. Why? Because in Gurbani, Maharaj also says Antana Sifti. They tell us there is no end to their Sifti. To their praise, there is no end. So nobody can sit down and say, I've reached the end. I've praised you so much, I'm done. No. Maharaj is saying nobody has sang these Guna Gobind Gayo Nahi. Because we are just like that little fish in the ocean. We only know what's around us. We don't know the depths. The same way we don't know the depths of good Bani. We don't know the end, because there is no end of Maharaj's praises. Maharaj tells us in the next half of the Pankti after the Vishram, Ke Janam Akar Thakeen. What's the result of not singing these Guna? Janam, this life, is then wasted. Janam Akar Thakeen. Sounds a bit harsh, but let's see why Maharaj is saying this. In another Pankti, in a different Bani, Maharaj says, Hire jaisa janam hai, kauti badle jai. They tell us you've been given this janam, the same janam that Maharaj is talking about when they say janam akar thakeen. We've been given this life, and it's like a precious jewel, a hira. And what Maharaj is saying, we're then swapping it for a kaudi, a shell. We're doing that exchange of a hira, and we're getting the worth of a kaudi, of a shell. Which means we're not living to the full potential of this life. We're not getting its full worth. Why? Because we get stuck in everything else. Why can't we sing the gun even though we try? Why is Maharaj still saying that nobody has? Because we get stuck. Maharaj tells us, why have we got this body. They say Manukha meaning human, that we've got this human form, this human body. Why? Gobind milan ki eh teri bariya. We've been given this form because it's a bariya is a chance. They're not saying it's, for you to decide. When you're playing a game, it's your turn. They're saying this is your turn. Gobind milan ki eh teri bariya. It's your turn. It's not for you to decide. If you're playing a game, you have to go next. And they're saying it's your turn to do what? To meet that Gobind, to meet that one. How do we meet the one? It goes back to Ik. When we experience that one is within us, we've then met them. So Maharaj is telling us we've got this form, we've got this life to meet that Gobind, to experience that one. And they're saying we're now wasting this life because we're not trying to meet the one. We're not singing their gurna, therefore we're not trying to experience them. Hence, janame akarit ki. We're wasting away. We're swapping this here for a shell, this precious jewel. But then we might ask why. That I do try and, sing the gurna, but why is Maharaj saying it's not good enough? Because in another Pankti, Maharaj says, Rosana kija, amrit pija, rahana nahi sansare. It's so beautiful because it sums up our life. Maharaj is saying, Rosana kija, don't be angry. Amrit pija, drink that amrit. What amrit? Naam rupi amrit. That naam that's within you, that one, that's what Maharaj is referring to as amrit. They're saying drink that one, experience that one. Why? Rahana nahi sansare. Because we're not going to stay here forever. This world is not permanent, it's temporary. There is going to be an end. We're not always going to stay in this human body. I'm not always going to be Gurvind. One day we have to let go. So then they're saying, why are you angry for? Someone hurt your feelings? Something didn't go your way? Have we noticed how it's your feelings, your way? It's all about me. They're saying, Rosana kija, don't be angry. Physically, don't be angry, but also anger is a chor. Panj chor, kam, krodh, lobh, moh, ahankara. Anger is one of them, which means there's 4 more. So if we're not angry, we're then stuck in one of the other 4. Kam, desire. Krodh, anger. Lobh, greed. Moh, attachment. Ahankara, pride. If we're not angry, then we're greedy because I want more. It's always about me because that's my pride, my hankar, that's telling me that this life is all about me. Nobody else or nothing else matters, it's only me. That's why we have desires. We always want more and more. We have one desire, another desire, it ends up as greed. Then we're attached to everything that we've asked for. Everything that we get, we're then attached to it. So in reality, we're being controlled by these 5 thieves. And that's why Maharaj is saying that we're not singing these gun. Because even as we are, we're still being controlled by these Panjachor. We're not free from them. They're controlling us. So then we ask, if Maharaj is saying nobody's singing these gun, what does it mean to sing these gun? How do we sing these gun? Gun and Gobind, how do we sing these praises of Akal Purakh WhyGuru? How do we do it? How do we praise them? And it comes down to one very simple thing, gratitude. Maharaj is saying in order to sing their praises, in order to praise the one, in order to experience and connect to the one, all we have to do is be grateful. We might think that's so easy, I'm so grateful, but are we really? How much do we take for granted? Maharaj and Sukhmani Sahib give us a whole Astpadi. A whole Astpadi is a lot of Panktiya where they speak about Jai Prasad. Jai Prasad being the kirpa of that one. Jai Prasad chatti amrit khava. With that one's grace, we're blessed with food. How many of us think like that? We can have a long day at work and come home and say, I'm tired, I don't want to cook. Not realizing you're only able to cook because that one has blessed you too. That one has blessed you with the food. You might eat it and say, that's not very nice, I could have ordered a pizza. But why? Why are we so quick to always say no? Why can't we just say, wow, the only reason I can eat it is because you've given it to me. The only reason I can taste it is because you've given me this mouth and made sure it works. Think about the people who can't even taste, people who can't eat. Maharaj is saying all we have to do is be grateful, and that gratitude will take us to that one. But it sounds easy to say and harder to do because it's not always easy to be grateful. We could be having a rough patch in life. We could be down low, really low. But that's when we need to practice gratitude even more. When you feel like you've got nothing, that's when you turn to your Guru and say, remind me of what I have. Jai prasad chatti amrit khava. Jai prasad sugandhat tan lava. They say even the fact that we smell good is because of Maharaj's kirpa. Nobody likes when somebody else doesn't smell nice. They say, sugandhat tan lava. These perfumes, these sprays and everything we put on our body to smell good, even that is Maharaj's kirpa. So when we feel like we have nothing at all, let's just turn to Guru Sahib and say, but at least I smell good. So thank you. There's always something to be thankful for. But when we forget to be thankful is when we're pulled away from that one. Maharaj says they give us so much, but we forget about them. Daat pyari, visraya daatar. Daat is the gift. That becomes pyari to us. Visraya daatar. We then forget the one who gave us. And that's why we end up in pain, in suffering, in separation. Because everything they've given becomes pyari to us. If we don't get a meal, it's like, I have to get food on a daily basis. If I don't shower, no, not an option. Maharaj, I have to have water, I have to have a shower on a daily basis. We take these things for granted. God forbid I have to walk. Nah, Maharaj, I have a car and it has to work every day. It's not wrong to ask for things. We know if we're going to ask, we should ask from the one. But when we ask and we receive, let's not forget where it's come from. Because as humans, we're so greedy, we're always ready to ask for more, but we don't ever reflect on what we have. And we don't sit down with what we have and say thank you. But Maharaj is saying the day we do that, we can be grateful and thankful for everything. That's the day we will experience the one. We'll understand that that one is inside us and inside everything they've given us, in that food as well. Another way of experiencing that one is by connecting with nature. Go somewhere, to a mountain, to a lake, somewhere which makes you go, wow, amazing. When you genuinely feel like that from the inside, then remind yourself that why is it amazing? Because that one is within that. This lake is so vast and so beautiful because that one Jale Hari. Hari is in that Jal. But guess what? That same Hari is within me as well. Remind yourself that, wow, this creation is so amazing, but Guru Sahib decided to put me in this creation as well. And then how can you be sad? If you sit there and say your creation is so beautiful, this mountain, this hike, this trek was so beautiful, and then remind yourself that you're also really beautiful because you're a part of it, that you're so blessed that Maharaj has made you a part of it. It's all about connecting in all these different ways. It's all about appreciation. And from there, the Pankti then changes, the Vishram changes to Guna Gobind Gayo, Vishram, which is a pause. Guna Gobind Gayo, that now I'm living in awareness. Now I'm singing the praises because I'm saying, Vah, you're so amazing because you give me food. Vah, you're so amazing because look at your creation. Vah, you're so amazing because you are in this water. You're living, you're being present. You're not just surviving, which is what most of us are doing. You're living. You're present, you're conscious, you're in that moment. You see something and you're like, wow, that is amazing. You genuinely feel it. And when you feel it, you remind yourself that whatever's making it is so amazing is making me amazing as well. It's that one in both of us. So Guna Gobind Gayo, pause, Nahi Janame Akarit Keen. So Janame Akarit Keen meaning your life is being wasted. Nahi means now it's not. Now your life is not a waste because you're grateful, you're thankful, you're present, you're there in every moment. You're eating that food and you're thinking, wow, because of you I get to eat. Instead of thinking, oh mom, I didn't want dal, you should have got pizza instead. No, now you're not wasting your life because you're saying thank you. You're living in the moment, you're being present. And that's all Guru Sahib is asking from us. That's all they want us to do. The last pankti and the final question, how far away is God? Maharaj answers it in this pankti, Kaho Nanak har bhaj mana, jeh bid jal ko meen. They're telling us, Kaho Nanak, they'll always use Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj's stamp to say that it is Guru Sahib's Bani, the true Guru, Kaho Nanak. Har bhaj mana. What's the instruction? Bhaj. Bhaj, to meditate. Who are they speaking to? Mana, our mind. Your mind is your biggest enemy. Your mind is the one who will tell you it's not possible, you can't do it, you're not good enough. It's all your mind's empty chatter. That's not your true self. So you then have to step out of that and tell your mind that no, I'm not going to listen to you, you listen to me. And what are you telling your mind? Hare pajamana. That hey, noisy mind, stop that noise and paj. Paj what? Hare. Hari Akal Purakh WhyGuru. Do that jap of WhyGuru's name. Feel that awe, that amazement, that gratitude. That's what you're going to remind your mind to do. And then you might ask how? Jeh bed jal ko meen. The same way that the fish is so in love with water. It needs water to survive. It can't survive without that water. We're going to tell our mind the same thing. That I'm going to be so grateful, I'm going to be like that fish. That I'll never be separated from gratitude. That if you take me out of this gratitude, if I am upset, if I'm feeling negative, that's like death. If I'm not being thankful for everything that you've given me, it's as if I'm dying. That's what we want to constantly tell our mind so that we can get there. Because if we look at a fish, it's got water inside of it and it's got water all outside of it as well, all around it. The same thing with God. How far away is God really? We ask that question. We are that fish and God is that water. God is inside of us and outside of us. That ek, that Brahm Sarup is inside of us and outside of us. Outside of us meaning in all of creation, in the air that we can't even see. Inside of us meaning the one keeping us alive. So that's the answer to the second question, that how far away is God? Closer than we think, closer than our own hands and feet. God is everywhere. There is no space in which that one doesn't exist. They exist everywhere. That ek is everywhere. So if we look at the connection, the love between the fish and the water, that when the fish is alive, it needs that water to survive. When you take it out of that water, it then dies. But when it dies, it's also still thinking of that. In Gurbani, there's a pankti that talks about when you take a fish and you take it out of the water and you cut it up and cook it in all these different ways, even then it will still be in love with that water. If someone eats fish, they will be thirsty. If you have fish for dinner and go and sleep, you will wake up in the middle of the night because you need to drink water. And Maharaj is saying, look at how much love that fish has for that water, that it's been killed, it's been eaten, and still it makes the person thirsty because still it's crying out for that water. And this is from Gurbani. Meen pakar phankyo arkatyo randkyo bahbani. That pakaryo, first you catch it, then you cut it up, and you ren, to cook it in many different ways. But still, it still has that love for the water. It doesn't lose its love even when it's dead. And that takes us to our itihas, because we can say, fine, that's a fish. What about a human? When we look at our itihas, when we look at the shaheed, the Singh and Singhni of our history, the Singhs who were made shaheed, we have Bhai Mati Das Ji, who was cut into half, and while they were being cut up, they were doing Japji Sahib the Part, because for them, that Gurbani was everything. Their life was going, but their Bani didn't stop. When they were cut, their body split into two separate pieces, and they had only reached the body of Panj Parvan, Panj Pradhan in Japji Sahib, and it said that their body split into two separate pieces, then completed the rest of the Bani. The same way that fish, when eaten, still goes to that water, the same way the Gursikh doesn't leave their Guru, doesn't leave their Bani. Their body was physically separated into two. which means death. There is no other way. But still, the Bani did not stop. From Panch Pradhan, it went all the way up until the end before they actually left their body. And that's the kind of love that we can only aspire to have. That's the only kind of love that we should be aiming for. Because if we reflect back on the fish, when we look at Gurbani, there's the Pankti Jo Jal Bihun Machli Tadphadaye. That Jo Jal Bihun, when separated from this water, taken out of this water, Tadphadaye, ke tadp ke marta. It's not an easy death, it's not a pretty one. If we've seen a fish out of water, you see how it just, this is what you call tadphadaye. I don't have the English for it, but it's torture. When it's just moving and dying and trying to get back into that water, it's not instant. You don't pull the fish out and whoop, it's dead. No, it still fights, it's still screaming and crying in agony for that water. And Maharaj is saying the same for us. We are suffering and screaming and crying whether or not we realize it. We're doing it on a daily basis. The only difference is we don't know. The fish knows because it's taken out of the water, so it knows and it reacts. We don't know, but that's why we have a guru to tell us. Maharaj say ke panch sitava hai doot kavan bid marne. Panj, these chor sataunde a menu. When you say ke something sataunda, is to say that it's tormenting you, it's torturing you. It's not easy. It's not something that, oh, I got angry. It was okay, I just lashed out like once or twice. No, Maharaj is saying it's killing you, it's torturing you. This anger, Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Ahankara, these 5 things, it's basically us as the fish out of the water. Panch Satava Hadut. Then we ask that question, Ke Maharaj, they're torturing us. Kavan bid marane. How do I kill them? Because there is no other way out. I can't let them do this to me. I can't carry on because it's leading to my death. Kavan bid marane. We then ask Maharaj, how do I destroy them? How do I kill them? Guru Sahib is so beautiful. They give us the response immediately. Ti karn baan chalai, naam prabhate agya. They say use the sharpest arrow that you have. Ti karn baan, shoot that sharp arrow. But what is that arrow? Naam prabhate agya. That arrow, the one that's going to kill, the one torturing us, is Naam. Naam, not the name, not the mantra, but the experience of that one. Once we experience Guru Sahib, Akal Purkhs WhyGuru inside of us, we'll no longer be tormented by these bandhs. Because when I understand that within me and within you is the same, how can I be angry at you? How can I hate you? How can I want to punch you in the face? I can't. When I see a Singh or a Bibi in the roop of Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj, with a dastar, a dada, the Bibia with the chunniya, how can I look at them and want to punch that face? No. That's the face of my Guru. That's the face of my Guru's son, my Guru's daughter. And that means I won't be angry then. We'll then learn to push that anger away so it's no longer controlling us. How can we be greedy when we understand it's not going to go anywhere with us? It all has to stay here. We won't have the desires we're not supposed to have. It's okay to ask and it's okay to receive because we will. We need certain things to live in this world. We need a job, we need a car, a house. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. But we won't get attached to it because we'll understand that nothing's going to stay here. Not the car, not the house, not me, not my body. The body that I love and care for so much, it's going to go. So only when we understand that the only thing that will always be true, the only thing that will always remain is that one, even when the body leaves, that one will still be around. When we focus on trying to experience that one, then we won't suffer. We won't be tortured by these bandhs. Then we won't have to turn to Maharaj and say, no. We'll then turn from a place of gratitude and say, thank you so much for this naam, for this weapon that's guiding me through life, that's helping me conquer everything, because now I'm understanding that there is only one. Then we'll finish on the last pankti that I've shared before, Rosna ki ja, Amrit pija, rehan nahi sansare. If you don't remember anything from the whole katha, this is the one thing I would like everybody to leave with. It's the one reminder that we have to constantly tell ourselves on a daily basis. Every time something is happening, something is going wrong, you're sad, you're angry, you're attached, you're feeling all these negative emotions, something's bringing you down, just tell your mind, don't be angry, don't be upset, don't be attached, don't be greedy, don't be anything negative. Amrit pija. That's all I'm here to do. All I have to do is connect to this naam. All I have to do is this uddam. I just have to say, wow, you're so amazing. But say it and mean it. Remind yourself that in every moment, we just have to attach to that amazement. We just have to be grateful. That's all Guru Sahib is asking of us, to always be grateful. And then tell your mind, Rehan nahi sansare, that whatever you think is so bad, it's bringing you down, it's not going to be there forever. Whatever it is, it's not going to last. It will pass. No matter how bad, no matter how upsetting, frustrating. It could be driving us crazy. All you have to do is take a breath, take a step back, and just say that let it go. It's okay. Because it's not going to stay, and I'm not going to stay. If I'm not here, who is it going to bother? So I'll end on that, and I'll leave you with that one bhakti. That the only thing we're here to do is to drink that amrit, that naam rupi amrit. All we have to do is be present in each and every moment with everything that we do. Do it with an intention. Do it consciously. Tell yourself that we're not going to let things just slide by. We're not going to do anything passively. Everything that you do, please, please be present as you do it, including eating that food. And that way we'll naturally end up japping naam even without knowing it. We'll then say, wow, this food is good. And that's another way of saying WhyGuru. Just being grateful, being thankful is equivalent to us saying WhyGuru. It's hard sometimes to sit down and actually say WhyGuru, WhyGuru, to actually jap it as a mantra. But if in every moment, every blink of an eye, we just remind ourselves that, wow, you're so great. This is so amazing. And tell yourself why. Because it's all one. It's beautiful because it's one. The one is inside everything, everyone. And do it to yourself as well. Be kind to yourself. Don't put yourself down. Because even inside you is that one. Yes, we make mistakes, we go through hardship. But we always have to remind ourselves that it's that one who's inside you. So just be grateful for that. I'm going to end on that note, so thank you so much for listening, and please forgive all my mistakes. I know I've made very many. Please bless me so I can do this better next time. And this is a Larivar Katha, so I'll be back next week, same time, and we'll go through the next Salok, and Maharaj Kirpa Rakhan, hopefully every week after that, every Thursday, same time, and with Maharaj's Kirpa, towards the end of the year, towards Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj's Shahidi, we'll aim to complete the Bani, the whole translation. Lekha katahana chutiya, khene khene poolan hare, baksan hare baksala, nanak pare utare. WhyGuru Ji ka Khalsa.